So we started talking about light. We said light, visible light, is part of the electromagnetic spectrum, right? The whole spectrum includes everything from gamma rays to radio waves. Everything is electromagnetic. And we also talked about the fact that light behaves as a wave and also as a particle. So in the next few weeks, we will talk about the properties of light that make it a wave and the property of light that make it a particle. Got it? In order to understand that, I'm going to start with light when it behaves as a wave, because that was human development. So people have been thinking about light in terms of a wave for a really long time. So optics is the field of study of light. It is divided into two categories. One is called geometrical optics, and the other one is called physical optics. In geometrical optics, the actual wavelength of light is ignored with respect to the dimensions that we are looking at, right? The actual wavelength is in nanometers. Nanometers is tiny, tiny, tiny. So we're going to ignore the actual wavelength of light. Whereas in physical optics, you cannot ignore the wavelength of light. Okay, so geometrical optics is the one where the actual lambda is ignored, right? What is the actual lambda? In nanometers. Whereas physical optics is where lambda cannot be ignored. So in the first case, I will be looking at geometrical optics. And for thousands of years, we have known that light travels as rays. Rays are what you see through clouds. Sunlight through clouds, they look like rays. And that particular kind of propagation of light, it follows the law called the rectilinear propagation. So rays, note my inverted commas, rays follow the law of rectilinear propagation. And what does the word rectilinear mean? It means they go in straight lines, straight parallel lines that do not intersect each other. That means, think of, when you're thinking about these rays, think of like a railway track. Do those lines ever intersect? No. So rays going outwards are rectilinear. They are parallel to each other. In other words, we can say for the law of rectilinear propagations, rays are always parallel. And in our rectilinear law of propagation, we also say that light behaves as a sequence of waves, which leads us to the wave properties of light. And that is called the wave configuration.